What is up, guys? It's your boy Ads Unscrewed. What's happening, guys? I am still alive. I just decided to do a bit of a spontaneous stream this evening. I've been so busy lately, and I think one of the things that has saddened me the most is that I just haven't had the time to stream as much as I would have liked to. Not for want of trying. Over the December period, it was very, very difficult to find guests and people, available who are willing to talk to. I resorted to making contact with a few of South Africa's celebrities, who will remain unnamed for now anyway. And it turns out it's harder to get these people on than I would have thought. There was a lot of interest and a lot of willingness, but not quite any follow through. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future, who knows? People are busy, especially them. So all I can do is understand. But this evening, I've decided to just talk about a couple of things. Really, I'm not one for these solo streams. I've never been fantastic at them, but I'm going to give it a go. So I wanted to talk about my last 6, 7, 8 months. I've had an interesting role. I mean, it's so much has happened. For those who've watched my previous streams, you will sort of have an idea. But I just want to talk about my journey professionally. It's been very interesting and somewhat unexpected. Once upon a time, I did have a printing company. I was in that business for about 5 years or so, and then I joined up with quite a big popular company in the eventing industry. And at around August last year, obviously COVID wreaked havoc upon the eventing industry, almost floored it. The company in question did a fantastic job. They kept us on for as long as they could. There were no cuts to salaries or anything like that. But inevitably it got to a point where they could no longer sustain us. They could no longer keep some of us on board. And I was a contractor, and it's whatever happened. So my contract was sadly terminated around August, and what transpired was a lot of panic. I mean, I was on a fixed term contract, so naturally I started looking for other options, other avenues. A month or two before this even transpired, my contract, let me just correct myself. They saw our contracts, or my contract rather, all the way through to its conclusion. So I did the full term, but I mean, it probably would have been renewed if the company was in a position to do so. So I had started sort of job hunting. I had started looking for other avenues about 2 months before my contract was ultimately terminated. And I noticed a couple of changes in the job market, a couple of changes within my line of work. Without even sounding arrogant or trying to put a feather in my cap, I was never one who didn't get at least one call back. I was always able to generate interest somewhere within the creative sector. And what I noticed was that there was an abundance of jobs within the creative sector. Let's call it that: marketing, graphic design, all of those multimedia, all of those sort of industries. But what happened was there is quadruple the amount of applicants. So unless you are in the top 5 or 10 CVs, you've almost got no chance in hell, and it's a sad reality. And it's not just my industry. It's pretty much any industry across the board around the world. I think for the first time ever, the whole world is just in the same pile of shit. I mean, let's be blunt. Everyone's running out of options, and jobs are either there in abundance with 5 times the amount of people chasing the same job, or there's no jobs at all. I read on the news earlier that I think it's Greyhound, a company that's been trading here for 37 odd years, is closing down in just after Valentine's Day. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. It just goes to show. And they did something like hundreds of thousands of trips, or took 100 transported 800,000 people a year, or something to that tune. That's a powerhouse. That's a company that's been around for 30, 35, 36, 37 years. And it just goes to show that nobody's really safe. No industry safe. And, if you're sitting in a company that's been around for, I don't know, since the cradle of humankind, it doesn't mean you're safe. It doesn't mean you're safe at all. And, that's the first thing I would have thought. I would have thought, shit, well, this company's been going for 45 years. It's going to take more than a little bit of flu to bring it down. But the reality is that we're all human. Businesses are vulnerable. People are losing their jobs, their livelihoods, their pensions, their everything. And, I'm seeing it every single day. And never in my life did I think that I would ever live to see something like this, see this pandemic. It's the kind of shit you read about in textbooks. And, you're sitting in school one day with your mates and you think, geez, that must have sucked. Medical science and such at that stage, shocking how many people died, millions. And, for humankind to face something like this, and it's unthinkable. But I mean, let me get back on points. I'm not a COVID conspiracy theorist, or I honestly couldn't give a shit. I'm just trying to wake up and get through a day. So when I lost my contract, I hopped on the job market. I did my best to sort of job hunt and see what was available out there, but I wasn't getting callbacks. There was almost no interest. And when there was interest, it was from companies who were almost trying to take advantage of desperation, which is something that's very sad to see. So, I mean, for example, and this is completely hypothetical. A job that one would get paid 45,000 for with the relevant experience, they were offering, say, 22, 25 for the same level of responsibility and stress as that of a 40,000 rand position. And I saw a lot of that sort of stuff happening, a lot of lowballing. So, people would be offered a position. They would say, sure, well, geez, I can't really afford to work for that. And companies would go, next candidate, please. And inevitably, they would always end up with somebody. They would always find someone to fill the spot. But it's actually just sad to see. So, I'm a graphic designer. I'm a marketer. I do business ops, all of that sort of wonderful stuff. And I never really saw myself going into say freelance graphic design, or opening a little graphic design. I don't even know what they call it, the studio, whatever the term is. I'm not too savvy. Because number one, it is probably the top 5, one of the top 5 most saturated industries in this country. I mean, just for example, when you are frequenting Facebook and you happen to notice a advert on one of the community groups where somebody will say, I am looking for someone to design a logo for me. You will notice that not only are there several hundred responses within an hour of that post going out, but there's a series of designers lowballing each other, where one says, I'll do it for 700, and you get the Oki who walks on in and he's like, I'll do it for 150. You get a lot of that sort of shit happening, that predator pricing. It's destroyed an entire industry. So, I mean, with that said, I've never seen myself, I never saw myself chasing designs or chasing, is waking up with my purpose for the day being to design someone a business card and all of that. It was great when I was 18, 19, 20, when it was time to have a dope every weekend and life wasn't serious. But I'm more strategic in the way that I like marketing. I'm quite well rounded in digital marketing. It's something that I got into the last few years, and I don't regret it. So, I looked at my skill sets and I said to myself, after feeling sorry for myself for a while, I sort of stopped and thought, well, Adam, the world. I mean, I honestly feel like the world is out to get me every day. Like in my life, and I'm sure it's like this in lots of people's lives, but in my life particularly, if I have a good day, I make sure I hide away for the next 3 days, because I'm just waiting for the next thing to roll on in and knock me out the park. So, I sort of sat there by myself and thought, do I feel sorry for myself, or do I stand up and do something about it? I was obviously job hunting that entire time, and I was flagged for 3 different positions, but for reasons I cannot mention publicly, I was not considered. So, while all this is going on, I'm sitting saying, well, I've got a son to support, I've got a bond to pay, I've got this, I've got that, I've got to pay for my porn. Life is serious, guys. And I was just confused for a while. I thought, shit, well, what am I gonna do? Do I start a meth lab? Do I become a Colombian drug lord? At that stage, I was actually watching Breaking Bad. So, being the next Walter White or the next Yaku White in South African terms, whatever the case might be, sounded like a great option at that point. So what I did was I started freelancing. I started a little business called Hology Visual. The name didn't come to me sort of immediately. And I'm embarrassed to say that hology means absolutely fuck all. It means nothing. There's no thought behind it. I just like the word and it looks really formal. So I thought, shit, let me just give it an identity, and I did. I started that little business. I managed to scrape together little bits and pieces, not really enough to write home about. A little bit of design there, a little bit of design there. I did a little bit of freelance work for the previous company for a while. And then out of the blue, I got a lucky break. It was a friend of mine had worked for a business that was looking for a digital marketer and somebody to try and spread the word. And I went through and I saw them. It took about 3 or 4 meetings, but I chatted with these people, and I made it known that I was a one-man show, and I wasn't representing this massive organization. And once upon a time, I felt as if it was a good thing to sort of perceive yourself to be bigger. But if that's what a customer cares about, they're probably not really worth having around, to be honest with you. I think honesty is key. And so yeah, I had a chat with these people, and I managed to secure a deal. I did a little bit of work for them, and it sort of presented a strategy and a plan that I wanted to sort of implement going forward. And they gave me my first break. They were my first SLA. They were my first sort of consistent income. And then, it's not we're not talking millions here, but it was something sustainable that the country was contracted to every single month after month, as long as I delivered on my services. And I must have been sleeping, because it took me 1 or 2 months to sit and realize, well, shit, you've actually got a business. You've got a client. You've got a logo. You've got a company. You've got a bookkeeping package. You're doing something for money. You're providing a service for money. You got something going here. So I thought, all right, well, let's batten down the hatches and go find ourselves some new clients and see what else I can get out there. So it's amazing how things kind of just worked out. You hear people say that, things just started going like this, and you never quite understand it until it actually happens to you. I started getting emails and phone calls from people who knew people, and my customers who spoke to other people, and it kind of just evolved like that. It just became something. Within that same month, I had my second client on service level agreements. I had the third after that. And I think I'm actually up to about 7 or 8 customers now who are paying me monthly, to manage their digital platforms, to try and get the word out, brand awareness exercises, managing their campaigns, maintaining their brand as a whole. So from basically being one step away from having to prostitute myself on the corner to covering my expenses and doing it for myself. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. Anybody who really knows me will know that. And, after the disappointments, this is a complicated story of me leaving the printing company I had. But, after the disappointment of that and the years that I had sunk in there to basically be left with almost nothing, I didn't think I could do this again, to be honest. I've always been good with people. I've always been, well, I think I'm pretty good at what I do. Some may disagree. But I didn't think I could do the business thing again. Well, once your soul's been crushed, there's a certain hesitance within you, or a hesitance within me that grew, where I was scared to take a chunk out of life. I was scared to risk it again. And it honestly took having no other option for me to find the courage to just go ahead and do it. I've got nobody but my clients to thank. I mean, these are people who had nothing but faith in me. I'll actually say it, Bridget, Gabby, and Hein. They'll know exactly who they are. They had the world of trust in me. They still do today. I'm very lucky to have a client like that. And honestly, if it weren't for them taking a chance on me, I wouldn't have actually done anything. And I don't know where I would be right now. Obviously, I fight severe depression every day of my life. So you can imagine how the stress of unemployment would feel, or how it did feel. It added fuel to an already burning fire. And I've also had the support of my lovely girlfriend. She's she picked me up when I was broken. I still am to a large degree, but she was willing to work with what was left, if that makes sense. She stuck by me. She's shown me a lot of love and support, and I still don't know what she sees in me, but I'm really grateful that she sees anything in me. Very, very lucky to have her. I love you, babe. And back on track. Sorry, I deviate. ADHD and such. How it goes. So I'm now sitting with 7 or 8 clients on my books. I'm now covering my expenses. I don't profess to be ultra wealthy. I don't profess to be doing phenomenally, But, in 6 or 7 short months, I've managed to take a really shit situation and turn it into something positive. And again, for those who know me, there's not a lot of positive going on in my world at any given moment. So I sort of take anything I can get. So, I sat earlier and I thought to myself, shit, I haven't streamed in ages, absolute ages. I really, really, really want to do it. And, I thought, well, what can I talk about? What have I got to talk about? What positive message have I got to talk about? And the answers, I got very, very few. But the few that I do have, I'm grateful for. Outside of Hology Visual, which is growing so rapidly, there is so much opportunity in this space. I've got a good friend. His name is Mr. Varen Brown. I don't normally name drop on here, but Varen's 22 years old. He's a 22-year-old genius. I've been friends with him for probably about a year and a half. Him and I met at a mutual friend's house once upon a time, having a few drinks, and I'd never quite come across someone of his age who was so goal-oriented and purely intelligent. He's the type of guy he's an old soul. He's very serious about making something of his life, and him and I are perfect opposites. So he's my partner in crime in this business. We merged our two companies. So Hology Visual and VWeb are hosting. So we are now HoloWeb. I like it. And Varen as well, he's also kept me motivated. So he's a WordPress specialist, network security, and IT buff. He's on another level. And him and I used to work closely together sort of on an ad hoc basis. And it just kind of made sense to join forces. And, I think I owe some of my success to Varen for the support that he's obviously brought in. It's really hard to be a one-man show in this day and age. It's hard. You can only make so much money before you hit a ceiling. At the moment, I'm working most of the day, pretty much all night, so there's not a lot of rest. But I've done it before, and I'll do it again. I'm willing to do the hard graft. I've always been. But Varen brings another dynamic into this whole business, and I had a lot of issues when it came to partnering with somebody in a business. I got shafted pretty badly at Media Mafia. So I had my questions about whether I could partner with someone again, whether I could trust somebody again, and it's testament to the caliber of person he is that he's managed to sort of break down that wall and show me that he's there for support. He's there to help. We're growing a little powerhouse at the moment, guys. We honestly expanding every month. I can't wait to see where we are at the end of this year. We've got a lot of exciting things happening in the space. Sorry, my throat is so sore. Another little interesting thing that him and I have developed, obviously with our individual skill sets, we can do things that would typically cost thousands of rands to do. And one of those things is build world-class e-commerce websites. So a couple of months ago, Varen and I were sort of sitting and saying, well, we've got all these skills. We know how to do this stuff. Why don't we build ourselves an e-commerce store? And obviously the next question was, well, what do we sell? Well, what can we sell? At that particular point, it was just a concept. We thought, okay, well, we're going to build a website. We're going to build an e-commerce store. We're going to make it the best there is, but we have no idea what we want to sell. So after sort of planning and plotting and all of the above, I came to realize that anybody who watches my shows will know that I'm a vape enthusiast. Gee, was green screen. There we go. I'm a vape enthusiast. I love vaping. My vaping journey started probably about 2 years back when my stress was so high it was almost not manageable. I've been a smoker. I'm sorry, excuse me. I've never been a smoker. And a couple of friends of mine introduced me to vaping. It was, some people fidget with those spinner things. Some people sit and flick their pencil. They said, give it a try, see if it works for you. I said, well, shit, why not? Let's give it a go. So I bought my first mod from them. I still remember the day my late father drove up to the building, and I was standing outside with these massive clouds of smoke just coming out of my nose and mouth, and he had one of those WTF looks on his face. So vaping became a little bit of a hobby for me, and then it evolved into an integral part of my stress management. So I probably do vape a little too much. I'm not going to lie. And I was like anybody. I mean, I looked at vaping. I thought, geez, what the fuck are these folks doing? What is wrong with them? You walk past an oak vaping, you're like, hey, get a laugh. And now my whole perspective on it has completely changed. It's it honestly helps people stop smoking if you follow the right process. If you use your nic salts, it's you can literally stop smoking. It's helped so many people. Me personally, it's not about replacing cigarettes. It's just it's become a way for me to deal with my anxiety and stress, and it works for me. So fuck it. If people are going to judge me out there, then go for it. Anyway, I said to Varen, why don't we start a vape store, online vape store? Quite a competitive space. There's a lot of vape shops themselves out there. There's a lot of vape websites and such. But I said, let's start a vape store. I went through the process of trying to find suppliers. I spoke to some close friends of mine who weren't able to help. And we put this whole concept together. It's partly why I've been absent from the channel for a while. It turns out it takes a lot of planning. So Varen's been developing for probably a month. There were days when I didn't even see the guy. He worked until 4 or 5 in the morning to get it done. And then we started our teaser campaign on the 15th of January, I believe. We started advertising it. I got a little bit of a shock because I didn't realize that being a digital marketer myself, and it's something that I probably should have known, is that social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, I'm not sure about the others, I need to look into it, have strict policies about advertising or paid advertising for that of tobacco products and vaping products. Turns out the USA are a bunch of dickheads, and it's prohibited. So, as a person who gets company out there electronically and digitally over the net, I sort of sat back and I thought, shit, well, I felt like a bird with my wings cut off. Organic reach it's fantastic, but it's something incredibly hard to achieve. So anyway, we sat, we thought about it, and we said, right, let's try and do things a little bit differently. Let's find ourselves some brand ambassadors. My lovely girlfriend was the first one, and then we got ourselves another 2. And with the influence of these people with their following, we were able to, we opened pre-registrations on I think it was also the 15th or 16th of January. And we launched on the 1st of February, just a few days back. and we had something like 80 odd pre-registrations, which in half a month, in my opinion, with no paid advertising, is an absolute win. So we continued advertising, and our ambassadors pushed and pushed and showed, and launch day came. We launched our websites on let me think about this, on the last day of Jan at midnight, and we had our first sale within just a few minutes. We've had an incredibly busy couple of days. We're very blessed. Thank you to everyone who has supported the store. Excuse me, your support is most appreciated. Thank you for trusting it. So we started this little business. And we actually realizing exactly how much is involved now. We've learned a lot over the past couple of days and the past few weeks. It's been incredibly taxing. So our venture's name is Vapestar. It's vapestar.co.za. That's vapestar.co.za. I'm gonna share my screen with you just to show you the site. Just give me a moment so everybody can see. So that's what it looks like. Very well designed sites, very, 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 very well laid out, well put together. We're adding products every single day. You will see a couple of blank spots, but go check it out, guys. Give us your feedback. Again, this is a new venture. We fulfilled every single order that we've received thus far. And yeah, we're grateful for the support. It hasn't been easy. It's like I said, there's been a lot of learning curves. There's a lot of things that we've been trying to figure out. But yeah, I think the purpose of my stream tonight is just, for anybody out there who's run out of options, who cannot find work, those who have skills, who don't believe in themselves, just do it. Don't roll over and die. That's when you really lose, man. Like, as long as you get up every day trying to be better than you were the day before, trying to make money, make a plan, do hustles, whatever you got to do, side hustles, whatever it takes, do it legitimately, do it smart, and you'd be amazed with what you can achieve. Sometimes to reach our full potential, we have to be forced to do things that we wouldn't necessarily be comfortable doing, guys. So, I will check in with another stream a little bit later this year. I'll give everyone an update as to how it's going. A little message. So much love and respect for both you and Baron. So proud of you, boys. Thank you, my love. Love you too. Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna just leave it there. Hey. If you haven't liked, if you haven't subscribed, please go to my Facebook and my Instagram and then my YouTube channels. I'm a bit rusty, and I must be honest, I'm feeling a bit half dead yet tonight, so forgive me. Go to the links below and be sure to follow. Going to be hopefully having a couple of guests on here in the next few weeks. It's been a bit chaotic, as I said, but yeah. Keep living on, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for those who did stop to listen. Really appreciate it. Take care, guys.